What's up YouTube, Mike here with PeoplesChoiceGaming, and today we're going to take a look at the new continuous rifle, the Amprex. Now this should have got done researching for you sometime today, and it'll be in your foundry waiting to be built. I will put a link in the description for the mats required because you are going to need quite a good bit of mats, especially the argon crystals. You're going to need 3 of those, so make sure you got some of them farmed up, doing some void runs, Vayhack, and whatnot, so that you got them 3 argon crystals to make this weapon. Now basically guys, in a nutshell, this weapon's a lot like the Synapse. It's a continuous weapon with a base damage type of electric, which is, really good. And in the end, it's got just a little less damage than the Synapse. It's got the same real high crit, 50%, so you will be able to reach 100% crit with the 2 from the top point strike. And the damage is slightly lesser than the Synapse. However, you have a 20 fire rate, more than actually double what the Synapse's fire rate is. And once broken down and in comparison to the Synapse, it's actually going to be a little bit better than the Synapse. And that's going to put it in the top tier of weapons for, being great for high level, survival and defense runs and whatnot for high level enemies. And, for enemies that get grouped together, which are also going to find, mobile defenses, survival, and defenses. And why, you ask? Because this weapon, unlike, the Synapse, unlike any weapon, this is one of the big things about this weapon. The big difference is it's got a built-in function where built-in ability, I guess you could say, where the electric will arc to other enemies. So basically, when you shoot it, you're going to see, multiple arcs of electricity around your body. And once you connect, though, with the main beam to one enemy, which the range is 18 meters, you are basically going to have, at the end of your main beam, you're going to have arced electricity that's going to arc to multiple enemies, as you see in the gameplay. And it will arc to one enemy after another, until you have 6-7 plus enemies, a huge group. It'll arc to all of them. Now the damage will be slightly less to them extra enemies that the electricity arcs to, but this is really powerful. Not only is the weapon by itself a little stronger than Synapse, which is really strong, but with the ability, or with the fact that it arcs to multiple enemies, this weapon is going to just be, really good for higher level stuff. Alright, let's talk about how to best mod this weapon. Alright guys, so when modding your Amprex, it's going to be really simple. Unfortunately, though, being a really strong weapon, like a lot of the strong weapons they will put out in this game, they'll choose to not give you any starting polarities. So unfortunately, to really max out your elemental mods for your full combo, get your Bane on and ammo mutation mod, maybe for a max build, you are going to need quite a lot of Forma, and you're still going to need even a few Forma if you want to get, both your elementals on and your ammo mutation mod. But to start off, get your Serration, your split chamber on there, of course. And then we got Vital Sense and Point Strike for our crit chance and crit damage. And remember, we have a really nice high base crit chance, so we're only going to need a 2 from the top Point Strike to achieve our 100% crit, so that we do not go over that and waste any mod points. And then simply to round out, to make your elemental combo, considering the weapon starts with electrical base damage, which is so good in this game, you're just going to need, 1 elemental mod. We'll go ahead and go with the magnetic for Corpus. We'll just put in a crowd rounds, and then you shouldn't run out of ammo, if you're just running through regular maps, or if there's a Necros in a party, or if you're running any type of ammo drum, or the other item that gives you ammo in game that you can bring with you. However, if you're doing a mobile defense or defense and none of those apply, and you do get short of ammo, an ammo drum is going to be more than enough extra ammo to get you through. And before you start forming it, if you want to do, smaller survival and defense runs, and you still need, some more ammo, you can always put a little smaller Serration on, or take a point out of cryo rounds, and then you'll be able to go ahead and fit in your rifle ammo mutation that costs 7 points. That'll just be, if you need it. And you know, if you're doing something that you do not need any of the any extra ammo from any sort, like from the ammo drum or ammo rifle ammo mutation, then you can put on your highest elemental mod, of course. So for radiation, when we're doing the higher level Grineer on survival and defense, we'll put a full Hellfire mod in. And if you put the Hellfire mod in, then you know, you'll have to take a couple points out of ammo drum. You also, at that point, you know, you wouldn't be able to run your rifle ammo mutation mod. But like I said, you know, if you want to run, you know, more ammo or run the ammo mutation mod, then instead of putting, you know, your Hellfire in, you could just put the 9-point mod in. So remember that you always got that option. You could just put the Wildfire in instead of the Hellfire. It's just going to depend on if you need the ammo or not. And if you don't, you know, you'll get that 30% extra damage, you know, if you use the Hellfire instead. And then if you're doing, you know, regular maps and you want to run Corrosive, being the best for the type of Grineer that are on all the regular maps, then you have the option to either put on your full Toxic mod, or you can go with the Malignant Force. And then if you go with the Malignant Force, you got plenty of points, you know, once again, for your ammo drum. Or, even in this case, since Malignant Force is only 7 points, you actually won't need to change anything, drop anything out of, you know, any of your mods. And you will be able to fit your full rifle ammo mutation mod. And that's pretty much it, guys. Really simple. Once you get around to wanting to put on your next elemental mod for, you know, a lot more damage, get your full elemental combo on, and getting that rifle ammo mutation mod on, because maybe you're wanting to do some really high level defense survivals, or high level survivals and defense, you know, which you're going to be you know, on the map for much longer, and you're definitely going to need ammo. You know, unless you got, you know, like I said, the Necros or ammo drums, then you're definitely going to need to put, you know, Form on, and then you can add one more full elemental. You can have your full rifle ammo mutation mod, and you can also, you know, put your Bane mod on last. You know, just like the max damage, you know, crit build for your Synapse. You're going to build this just the same if you want to max it out. And it's a very good weapon, guys, so you definitely want to get your hands on it. It's just a little less damage than a Synapse, but because of the double fire rate, it is going to be a stronger weapon than a Synapse. Even if you even out the fire rate and, you know, bring it down to the Synapse's level and up the damage, you know, you're going to be a few points higher than a Synapse. And that's not even including the fact that you can kill 5, 6, 7, 8 enemies at once, because your electric beam is going to arc to all them surrounding enemies, which makes it even much more better. And then compared to like the Phage, which is the strongest weapon in the game right now, it's going to be just slightly under the Phage a little bit. But this is definitely a new top tier weapon for your, you know, high level defense and survival runs. Very strong weapon. Highly suggest forming it a good few times and maxing out your build. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.